What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, man. My name's DivaTequila. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be going over what I think are going to be the 5 best pals to have in your party when PvP finally comes. Obviously, this is going to be subject to opinion as PvP actually starts and we see like a meta of sorts start to develop. This can change, but this is going to be my early prediction on a party that I think is well-rounded and that I think gives you enough oomph and enough little passives or whatever that can get you over that hump and can make you extremely good. So without wasting any more time, Felbat is actually my #1 sleeper pick at the moment. If you read their partner skill, while fighting together, it grants the player and Felbat the lifesteal effect, which absorbs some of the received damage and restores health. So this is going to add a bit of tankiness not only to yourself, but to Felbat as well. And to top that off, Felbat actually has a pretty high base attack. Let me see if I can pull up the attack thing right here. So this is a link that I'll have in the description, but you can kind of scroll through here. You choose up top what base stats you want to look at. But Felbat actually doesn't have the worst base attack. It's down here at a 105 for the base attack. But the reason why that's significant is because the other pal in the game that has the lifesteal effect is the Lavender. Lavender's obviously dope. We love Lavender. She's fucking iconic. But way down here in terms of base attack, with a 70. So obviously Felbat is going to be your choice to have that lifesteal pal in your party. So the passives that I think you should go ahead and try to breed down and get stacked up on your Felbat is going to be Vanguard for that plus 20% player attack, Musclehead for the plus 30% player attack, Ferocious for the plus 20% player attack, and Hooligan will give you plus 15% player attack. If you're committed enough and you really want to max out your stats, you'll try to get Legend on Felbat, which will give you the plus 20% player attack, and that'll put you at plus 70% player attack and plus 70% POW attack bonus, and then plus 20% partner, POW, person, whatever, attack bonus. Plus 70 and plus 20 is what I'm trying to say. To get Legend on Felbat, it's going to take a couple breeding cycles, but basically you're going to breed your Jet Dragon with a Sparkit to get Tombat, and then once you have Legend on that Tombat, you're going to breed that Tombat with a Kelp Seed to get Felbat. So it is possible to get Legend on Felbat. It's going to take a little bit more finagling. You can see here I have on my little reading guide calculator pulled up the shortest path calculator. You take your Jet Dragon to get Felbat. You do Jet Dragon plus Sparkit, you get Tombat. Tombat plus Kelp Seed will get you Felbat. So keep that in your back pocket. So you can have a Felbat with really good passives and also have that lifesteal effect as well. The next pal that I think is going to be really good that I'm going to be working on to have in my party is going to be Lyleen. Lyleen has a partner skill that when activated, the Queen's Soothing Graces greatly restores players' health. This is also another thing that's going to help with the longevity of fighting and also add on to some player tankiness as well. I think that depending on how PvP is going to work, obviously you yourself have to stay alive. That's just the way this game works. Your pals can unfortunately be incapacitated and you can continue fighting, but if you're knocked out, then that's usually the end of the fight. So the first 2 pals, I think, are going to work together to try to keep yourself alive. But also, Lyleen is pretty strong. I think that Lyleen is actually going to be better in PvP than Lyleen Knocked, than the Dark variation, variant's the word, because Dark is actually weak against Dragon, and as we all know, Dragon is like a preferred element type for a lot of players. So I would avoid the Lyleen Knocked just because they're gonna struggle, you know what I mean? So I would try to get Vanguard, Spirit Emperor, Musclehead, and Ferocious. So this will give you plus 50% attack between the Musclehead and Ferocious. You'll get plus 20% added on to your grass attacks with the Spirit Emperor, and then you'll get the plus 20% player attack with Vanguard. And from what I've seen, what I've looked up, what I've read, what I've tinkered with as well, adding on multiple Vanguards does give multiple player attack. So your first 2 pals will give lifesteal, health bonus, and then you'll also have a plus 40% attack bonus as well. Now the third pal that I think is going to be the best to have in your party is because this pal has the absolute highest base attack. Necromus has the highest base attack in the game. You can see here Necromus starts out at 145 base attack, 23, 26 when maxed out, and obviously, you know, that scales as per, you know, IVs and all of that stuff. So you're going to want to try to get good IVs on this as well. You can see that, you know, Frostallion, Nox, and Jet Dragon tie for second, but you have Necromus first with the highest attack. Also just looks kind of dope. I know that Dark is weak against Dragon, but hopefully you're not going to be against a lineup of 5 dragons. I don't think that somebody's going to stack dragons, because then you're going to have some ice pals to work with that as well. But you can get Legend, you can get Lord of the Underworld, and then Musclehead and Ferocious as well. So you'll have plus 70% attack, and then plus 20% to your Dark attack. So Necromus is going to be a beefy pal. It's going to deal a lot of damage, especially once you start throwing your pal souls into these pals as well. That 2300 number you saw, that's like when maxed out and everything, but as you start to add these passives on there, that number is going to go up greatly. As you start to get like a higher IV version of that pal as well, it's going to continue to go up. The 4th pal that I'm going to be working on, I think you should as well, to go ahead and start breeding that perfect variant, and then, you know, you want to raise it all the way up to 4 stars as well, get all your pal souls in there, is going to be the lovely Frostallion. I know we all love Frostallion. Very majestic, beautiful pal. It actually ties for the 2nd highest attack rating in the game. Usually has the massive health pool. I know they just kind of nerfed that with the recent update to Alpha Pals, but Frostallion is still a really good all-around pal, and plus having that ice element is going to help to mitigate the effect of, you know, the enemies that try to stack dragons against you. So Frostallion is going to be a really good pal moving forward. You can put Legend, Ice Emperor, and then again your Musclehead and Ferocious. So you'll have plus 70% attack, and then you'll also have plus 20% to your ice damage. So your first 4 pals are looking pretty sturdy, not gonna lie. I haven't really worried too much about talking about the partner skills of Necromus and Frostallion, because you're probably not going to be using these as a mount in game. You can. I just don't know if that's really what the PvP meta is going to look like. I think that if you're riding on a mount in game, it's 2 targets at once. You know, they can't like shoot at all 6 of you at the same time if you're spread out a little bit. But if you're riding on top of a mount, then they can just spray and pray and effectively, you know, do damage to both of you. But like I said, I don't know. We'll see. Some of these pals have really good bonuses when you ride them. Like Chill It turns your attacks into dragon damage. So we'll see. My 5th pick, and I think this pick has really become viable with the recent update, because now that you're able to combine a Blasmut with a Jormuntide, and you can get Jormuntide Ignis, you have a lot of possibilities towards increasing your Jormuntide Ignis's power. Already is a very powerful POW, tied for having the 3rd highest attack damage in the game. You can see here you've got 145, you've got 3 that have 140, and then Jormuntide is tied right here, so technically, you know, 3rd at 130. So already really strong there, but now you can get your Legend on Jormuntide by breeding Jet Dragon with Alpha Dran, and then also by breeding that Jet Dragon with Alpha Dran, you can get Divine Dragon onto a Jormuntide, and then once you have Legend and Divine Dragon on Jormuntide, you can combine that Jormuntide with Blasmut to get your Jormuntide Ignis that'll effectively be just a demon, honestly. You're going to have Legend, Divine Dragon, Flame Emperor, and Musclehead. So you'll have plus 50% attack, plus 20% fire attack, plus 20% dragon attack. I do think that there is some trade-off here. If you don't want to go with Divine Dragon and Flame Emperor because you want to have all one attack type, then you could take away one of those. But then again, I think you're taking away some of the versatility of Jormuntide Ignis. I think having Dragon and Fire obviously is a lot more well-rounded. I don't know how many people are going to be using grass-type pals in PvP. I think the big one, obviously, at the moment is Lyleen. But we're going to be running a Lyleen in our party, so it makes sense for us to counter our party as well. If I can counter everything that's in my party, I think I can counter everything that's in everyone else's party. So, anyways, just to summarize what we've got going on, we've got Felbat as our big lifesteal pick. We can eventually breed down Legend onto Felbat as well, so going to be pretty strong there. Lyleen is able to heal us, so Lyleen is going to be a really big pick as well. We've got Necromus, which is the highest rawest attack power POW in the game, whatever, and then obviously you're going to put those stats on there as well, so plus 70% attack, plus 20% dark attack. Your Necromus is going to be really strong. Frostallion is tied for the second highest attack power. Obviously, you're going to get your Legend, you're going to get your Ice Emperor, so that's obviously going to be extremely strong. And then you're going to have this newly bolstered Jormuntide Ignis. So you'll be able to stack up all of your massive passives on this one. Ideally, by the time PvP drops, I'm going to have, and I hope you have as well, all of these pals to 4 stars and then maxed out with their POW boosts. Obviously, like when you go to the little POW upgrade thing, you know, it costs X amount of POW souls every time to level them up. But the good thing is, oh, that's trash, I don't have a POW in my inventory. But the good thing is you don't have to worry about increasing their work speed at all. You're only going to be really worried about raising up their attack and their health, and then I would say defense is third. So that's kind of going to be my prioritization list. I want to max out all of my pals' attack, because the higher attack they have, the higher DPS they have, meaning the less damage that they're going to take overall. As you start to face stronger and stronger teams, obviously defense and health is going to matter, but I don't know how many people are going to be like sweating and like kind of min-maxing and perfecting their parties off rip. So anyways, man, if you go with these 5 pals to start with, to focus on, to try to max out, I think you're going to be extremely well-rounded. You're going to be able to dominate, I think, like 90 to 95% of people just by being very well-rounded and having them maxed out. So my recommendation, that's the party you should be looking for at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to add a little bit of graphics and words on the screen depending on how the editing process goes to make this a little bit clearer and concise. But if you stuck around this long, man, I appreciate you. I love you. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you're still enjoying the Palworld grind. I know I am as well. Stay safe.